Hello, in this video I would like to introduce you to how to navigate through your homework and your quizzes. I have opened up the course that I actually work out of, and so this course may look a little bit different than the actual course that shows up on your screen. For instance, I have a tab that's called Manage Course, and it has the little slash through the person. That means that you as a student can't see that. But I needed to come to this particular course so that I could show you the homework and your quizzes. So if I go into the tab for Chapter 1, then in a prior video I have told you how to work the Chapter 1 videos, how you need to click and watch the videos and then fill in your notes. Now what I'll do is go to the Chapter 1 homework, and I want to just kind of briefly take you through this and show you what you need to do there. Now, we see the flag out to the side of the section 1.1 homework. And the flag says that I have to do the section 1.1 videos before starting this assignment. And so I would have to go as a student to the section 1.1 videos. I would need to click into the videos. And then for each highlighted yellow example, I would right click, open up those videos in a new tab, watch those, and then fill in my notes. Do that for the entire section. And then when I'm done, I can press submit, and then that particular assignment is finished. I can do OK, and then it allows me to go on to section 1.1 homework. So now when I open section 1.1 homework, then we can see that we have, I believe in this particular section, about 24 questions. To start a homework assignment, I would just click on question 1. When the homework comes up, we have the questions numbered at the top. You have some navigational arrows to the left and to the right. I'm just going to do a couple of examples, kind of show you how this works so that you'll be familiar with it as we kind of go through the semester. So this problem is asking me to find the coordinate of the point shown on the graph. So I can see from my graph, I've got 5 units to the right, 5 units up. And this particular point looks like it is at 2, 1. So it says type is an ordered pair. The blue instructions underneath where you enter your answer will always indicate to you the form of your answer. Sometimes it will say round the decimal to the nearest hundredth, something like that. This particular problem says type as an ordered pair. So I know I need to open up a set of parentheses. My x coordinate is 2, and then I do a comma. My y coordinate is 1, and then I close the parentheses. I can then check my answer. So we'll go down to the bottom, do check your answer, and then if you have it right, it will tell you good job, and then go on. Now, before I press OK here, notice that I'm on question 1, and then when I go and press OK, then it puts the little check mark up at the top if I've gotten the question correct. Okay, let's advance to question 2. This one says, plot 1, -6 on the coordinate axes. Now in this particular example, I'm going to, on purpose, do it wrong so you can see what happens if you get a wrong answer. Now on a lot of the graphs, you have this magnifying glass, and you can click on that to see the graph bigger. And I do that all the time. I can't see it as small as they have it on there, so I'll do the magnifying glass. All right, now the actual order pair 1, -6 should be 1 unit to the right and -6 units down. Let's say that I actually did it backwards. Let's say I went 1 unit up and -6 units to the left, and I plotted my point here. So if I do that and do save, so that's not the correct answer, then if I do check my answer, it will tell me, sorry, that's not correct. It said, you graphed the ordered pair -6, 1, when you should have graphed the ordered pair 1, -6. In other words, you reversed it. So not only does it tell you that you're wrong, but it also tells you how you're wrong, or it will give you instructions on how to do it correctly. So that's a nice element. All right, so I've missed this problem. I don't have it correct. If I keep, you know, like if I go and I plot it and I do it wrong again and say, okay, check answer, it's going to say, no, that's not right. If I do it wrong again, I still don't get the right answer and do final check, then up here on question number 2, you see it marks it as incorrect, and it says, sorry, that's not the correct answer. The correct answer was 1, -6. Your answer was 3, 3. So it'll tell you that it's done incorrectly. Now, if you get a problem wrong, you saw in this example that you had basically 3 tries to get it correct. But if you get it incorrect 3 different times, then you can come down here and click on similar exercise. It will regenerate the numbers, regenerate the problem, and then ask you to do that new problem. This one says plot the ordered pair 0, 1. Well, 0 is the x direction, 1's the y direction. So we don't want to go anywhere horizontally, and we want to go up 1 unit. So I'd click there, I'd do check answer, and then that one, it tells me that it's correct. So I'd do OK. You can do this. If you get interrupted in the middle of your homework, you can always do save. So I've done the first 2 problems. If I want to go and get a snack right now or something, I can press save. It saves the results, and then when you come back to your homework, you can just start on question number 3 and then continue on from there. Now, on your homework, there's absolutely no reason that you should not get 100% on your homework, because you know as you go along if you're getting the questions right or wrong, and even if you get them wrong, then you have an opportunity to redo them. Now, let's say that I get to this particular one and I just cannot figure it out. One of the things that you can do is you can come over here and you can do Ask My Instructor, and it will automatically send that particular problem to me, and you can type some kind of question or comment that will give me more guidance as far as what you're having problems with, and then you can send that to me. All right, let's exit out of the homework. So I'm going to do save and then go on. Okay, so that's your homework. You can do your homework in multiple sittings. In other words, you can kind of do it a little bit at a time. When you're finished with it, it will then give you hopefully the total grade for the entire assignment. Okay, you can see right now that there actually is a score for it. If I click on see score, I have an 8.33%. So obviously I'm not done, but it keeps your score as you go along, and you want to strive for that score to be 100. All right, so that's the homework. The homework, you know as you go along if you're getting the question right or wrong. If you get a question wrong, you can stop right there and you can correct it. If you're not sure how to correct it, you can email me. I would encourage you to look in your notes first to make sure there's not an example that's similar to it. Make sure that you can't figure it out on your own first, but then when all else fails, you can email me and say, hey, I'm having trouble with this particular problem. Now, once you have done an entire section of homework or chapter of homework, so in this particular one, we've got all the chapter 1 stuff all the way down to section 1.6. And so on there, let's now go to putting it together. So we've completed all that homework and we want to put it together. So on here, we're going to go down and read carefully through what I have here, and it's explaining about what is putting it together, what do you use it for, and so forth. Putting it together is basically your major quiz prep. So this is making sure that you're ready to take your first major quiz. And I have instructions here on how to do that. So when you're ready to do your quiz 1 prep, then you'll go to this link, and then we'll go to putting it together. Now for me, you see that we still have the flag out to the side saying that I have not met the prerequisite for being able to do this assignment. Now, I logged specifically into the instructor version of the course so that I was able to go past this. You cannot go past this. So if you see that flag, you have to go and do section 1.6 homework before you're able to access this. But I wanted to show you what the quiz preps look like and kind of how you want to go about doing them. All right, so it gives me a prerequisite warning. Because I'm an instructor, I can continue on so that I can show you the quiz. All right, so when you start a quiz, it's going to ask you, hey, you're starting a quiz. Up here at the top, you have a reminder. This quiz I can take an unlimited amount of times. So I'm ready to start. Make sure when you take a quiz that you're in a quiet environment, that you've got plenty of time to take your quiz. And the thing that makes quizzes different than homework is that you must do all of it before you're able to submit it. So in other words, I couldn't just do the first 2 questions, save it, and then come back for it later. I've got to do all 13 questions in this particular case. So in this one, if I said, okay, I'm using my graphing calculator to match it, and I said it was this one, then when I go on to the next question, you notice that it doesn't tell me if question 1 is right or wrong. Okay, let's say that I've said that this was that one, and I go on to the next one, and so forth. So you want to use this kind of to help you know if you're ready for the test. So take these questions seriously, go through them, and make sure that you're doing them right like you would on an exam, because this is preparing you for that major quiz. When you get all the way to the end and you've done all 13 questions, then and only then would you go through and submit your quiz. Now, if you have not answered all the questions, like here I'm just showing you how this works, so I haven't answered all the questions. It says you have unanswered questions. Are you sure that you want to submit your test? And for you, the answer would be no. So make sure that you complete all of them before you submit it. I'm going to go ahead and say yes. Okay, and then it tells you which ones you have right and which ones you have wrong. Well, I didn't really work the problem, so I have all of them wrong. It's marked it as all wrong. I can go and review my test, and there it will show you which ones you have wrong, and then it will actually show you the correct answer. Now, each time you take these prep quizzes, it will give you slightly different numbers. So this is the first time I've taken this. Don't expect the second time for you to take it, it's going to give you the same numbers, because it won't. Okay, but you can go through, you can see the ones you got right, the ones you got wrong, and the ones you got wrong, it'll show you the right answer. And kind of correct yourself. Okay, on these, I can take them as many times as I want, but I have to go and do all 13 questions in this particular example before it allows me to go on and get a score. All right, now, after I've finished both of these, notice that one's with a graphing calculator and one is not, so I've kind of split it up. Only after you finish doing these two assignments and you are fully prepared do you want to take your first major quiz. Okay, now there's two ways to access it. You can either access it here, or you see in the main, or back over here in the sub-menu under Chapter 1, we have the Take First Major Quiz. And so you can access it there as well. I can go in. Now this one, it's saying, hey, you haven't done the prerequisite. I'm going to go ahead and click on so that I can show you how this works. Do ready to start. And then notice here, there's only one attempt. Also notice that you have time remaining up here at the top. So this particular quiz, you can only take one time. If you've clicked into it like I have just done, then that means that your one attempt is over. So make sure whatever you do, do not actually click into one of these quizzes before you're actually ready. Okay, and they work the same as your preps. You'll have to go through the entire quiz. The only difference is when you submit your quiz, then it's not going to let you review it. So y'all see I have a 0, and if you go in, if you click on this and you don't mean to take it and you have a 0, that's your score. So make sure, do not click on this until you're actually prepared to take your major quiz. These are big deals. All right, and the last thing I want to show you here is I want to show you Gradebook. So if we go back to the main menu, go to Gradebook, and then you can see the different grades. So I've clicked in several different things and I've worked on several different things, and it will tell you how many you have correct out of how many total. And then if I click on overall score, it'll show me my score. So right now I have a hunking 43.3%. I haven't done very well. I need to go back and work. But it shows you the different assignments and the overall grade in that assignment. Finally, the last thing I want to warn you about is making sure that you have an email address entered in that's accurate and one that you will check on a daily basis. Y'all can see here my email address is listed. If that email address is not one that you check regularly, go to your account and make sure you update that. The reason I say that is if you go back to the announcements page, this will be where I post due dates for quizzes and homework and things like that. And so when I post an announcement, it automatically sends you an email saying, hey, Miss Lewis posted an announcement, you have this due date, and so you want to make sure that you get those emails from me. So make sure that this email address you have up here is up to date.